This is Beauty Manifested, and I am Danny the Teach, and I am having such a beautiful and wonderful day. Today is Sunday, and I literally work Monday through Saturday, so this is my only day that I have completely to myself. And me and my mom have been cleaning out the shed outside and just spending time in the yard, and it feels so good. And I just went and picked me up a drink from Starbucks because I had a free drink coupon, and I'm just having a wonderful day. And of course, I'm in driving, so thinking about boys. boys. And so this is what I was thinking. Like, I'm not anti-online dating. I am not anti-online dating. But I am anti-online dating for me. And here's the reason why. This is what I just realized about myself. And I've shared on here, like, I like to have a man. Period. Like, I do. Even, like, I like to have a man. And even now that I'm specifically dating for marriage, and I'm not just like dating the first guy who comes along and whatnot, you know, I like to have the support of men. So that doesn't even mean me having a man, but I really like to lean on my father for support. I really appreciate all the men in my life. I will ask strangers, like total strangers, little boys in the neighborhood, anyone, for some help, because I don't know where I got that from. Well, I think my aunt used to always say, like, say I was gonna go pick something up, and she was like, oh, go ask your cousins to do that, because I had male cousins. And it was just like, I don't know, there's just certain things like I don't feel like I should be doing as a woman. Like, hello, I've been wearing high heels since like the second grade. I think I came out the womb in high heels for real, but I remember specifically I had these boots that I absolutely loved, and they were like these high heel leather boots because I had big feet, because I'm tall and I'm long, so I always had long feet. So I could wear grown women's shoes literally by the second grade. I think I was like a size 5 or 6. And you know, like some of these little Mexican women or some of these little Asian women, they be 50 years old wearing a size 5. So I was wearing grown women's shoes since forever, right? And so I love to wear me some high heels. I remember my mom would let me get some high heels from the outlet store or whatever, from the TJ Maxx. And I thought I was too cute, and was. And so I don't even know where I was going with that point about the high heels. Oh yeah, well, I'm wearing high heels, I'm wearing dresses, I'm wearing mini skirts. Like, what do I look like doing the heavy lifting? And don't get me wrong, like, I garden, I do all kinds of heavy lifting. I'm not incapable. And I grew up doing cheerleading, which isn't really like it's not a manly man's sport. It's not basketball or something like that. It's cheerleading. But, you know, it's still athletic. I can run, like, I'm strong. I can pick stuff up. But why would I? So, you know, it's always been in my nature to lean on a man where I can. And so after me and my little boyfriend or whatever, we broke up and we weren't together anymore, and I was so heartbroken, even though I broke up with him, but I was still so heartbroken. And you know how it is, because I wanted it to work out, but he just was not behaving himself, so I had to go, because I couldn't stick around for that nonsense. So I had to get up out of there. And I was really heartbroken. And when I tell you, I hopped on the dating apps expeditiously, I hopped on those dating apps because, and now this is a theory, I don't know if this is like, this is not scientifically backed or anything, but when you're in a season where you need to heal, it may not be a lot of men coming up to you wanting to be with you, at least not the quality ones. When you're hurt and you're broken like that, the men that you attract are usually predators, and they can smell that insecurity on you, and they want to take advantage of that. And so I would not even advise to just start immediately dating after like a big deep breakup. Like, if it's just like, you know, like now I might date someone, he takes me on some dates, I don't think he's my husband, so I kind of cut things off. So that's technically a breakup, but that's not the kind of breakup I'm talking about. I'm talking about like a big grand separation, someone who is deeply involved in your life, someone who you would see every day, talk to every day, and now you guys cold turkey, you don't talk at all. You know, that takes some time, and I wouldn't recommend just immediately moving away, and especially because like that breakup really sparked my big healing journey, my big self-love journey, my big inner work journey, and all of those things. I was already kind of like into those things, but it was more like career related, like trying to build myself like that versus just trying to like build my inner self, right? And so that breakup was like a big shift for me. That was a turning point in my life, I would say. That's why it's so impactful to me, although it doesn't make me sad or anything like that anymore at all. But I think about it often because that was a big turning point in my life. It really was. And I felt so proud of myself that I was able to leave like that. Because I was just very deep into that relationship. And so the fact that I was able to get up and leave, I was like, you go girl, like you go girl. And so I just got deeper and deeper and deeper into the self-love. And like, I went immediately into dating and then had the nerve, girl, to be trying to tell these men that I was dating that I was looking for marriage. Like, girl, you don't have no business trying to find a husband hurting the way that you are hurting. Like, and men are so smart. I really admire men. Like, they just have like really a sixth sense. Like, they say women are so intuitive, and we are, but men are very intuitive. Very, like, they have that hunter's instinct. They're like dogs. Like, they can smell the hurt on you. They can smell the self-love on you. Like, they know. You cannot lie to a man. And I remember I used to feel like that with my ex. And it was a little toxic because he would tell me, he's like, I know you as good as you know you. Like, you cannot lie to me. I know where you are. He would tell me, like, we're connected. Like, I can feel you even when we're miles apart. Like, he would tell me that kind of stuff. And I thought it was cute at the time, but now I'm like, creepy. But even though it was creepy, it was kind of true. Like, it was like, he would just call at like the perfect time, like the eerie moment. Like, it was just strange. But anyways, I hopped right into the online dating. And I think I did that because at that time when I was just like all hurt and confused, I wasn't really meeting the quality of man that I wanted. And I was in a big life transition. So I wasn't even at a point in my life where I was surrounded by people who I admire and who would be connected to the kind of man who I would want to marry, if that makes sense. Like, say, like, a lot of people meet their significant other through a friend somehow. Like, you know, they're in the same circle. But based on the circle I had at that time, I wasn't going to meet a man who was like the man who I wanted to be with ultimately. And so I really had a lot of work to do. And so I felt like the easiest way to get to those kind of men would be to go online, because online you have access to like so many men. And based on my pictures alone, it would be easy for me to just like get that kind of guy. Do you know what I mean? But that isn't organic, because if you're not in the same kind of circles with that guy, you guys are not going to the same places. Like, if you wouldn't just bump into him out and about, then I feel like you guys are not really in alignment. You guys are not vibrating on the same frequency, or otherwise your magnetic draw would just attract him in your life. And so I don't know. Like, this is just what I'm thinking. Like, I feel like you meet a lot of people who you're not aligned with online, and it's not an organic connection. And it just is a little weird because, like, and I have someone who just got married, and he told me that he probably would have never met his wife they met online, had it not been for the online dating. And so I used to think that was a good thing, because I'm like, it really broadens your like pool of men who you can choose from. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, why do you want to have such a big pool of men to choose from if you can only have one? Like, I don't know. I eat organic foods. I like to grow my own foods. I'm a little old fashioned, but for me, my man is going to fall right in my lap. I don't want to have to go out of my way. Like, I want it to feel like destiny. Like, I'm at the garden store, he's at the garden store. Like, so one of my family members, she loves like antiquing, thrifting, DIY. She's a DIY queen. She's an artist. She loves all of that thing. So she loves, her and my grandmother, they always go to the thrift stores. Like, that's pretty much like their thing. Like, they'll go just to like stop in and see the inventory, kind of like how I do at the nursery. Like, even if I don't plan on buying anything, I'll just stop at the nursery just because I go on my lunch break. I just like it. So that's kind of how she was at the thrift store. And she met her man at a thrift store, and they're like so compatible. They're a perfect couple. He loves to do projects around the house. He loves to always just like buy her sweet gifts and stuff. And she met him shopping. So I feel that the organic connections you make are just so much more genuine and so much more aligned, because when you trust God, you don't have to take a whole lot of intervention, such as like the online dating. And I know there's a lot of success stories from the online dating. I'm not anti-online dating, but for me, I have decided that in my life, like, I would prefer for my perfect love story to be like, the man just fell into my lap and he was hypnotized by me and he had to cross the room to come see me. That part. He had to cross the room to come see me. He wasn't just sitting on the couch in his room, swiping, thought I looked cute, convinced me to go. Like, that's just not romantic for me. And I know some people who actually met like on Craigslist, on eHarmony, on all these different sites. And for a while, they would actually lie because they were embarrassed about their love story. And I don't think anyone should ever feel embarrassed about like their life. But that just kind of goes to show, like, I just don't want to be a woman who's like looking for a man, trying to get a man. No. And believe me, like, I'm not judging, because that was me. That's why I just gave all this backstory. Like, that literally was me. I broke up with my boyfriend and I was like, I don't need him. I can get me 10 more. I can do this. I can do that. And then I was serial dating. I was going out to dinner, new man every night. And my mom was like, whoa, girl, like, slow down. And I was like, no, I'm living my best life. I'm outside. I'm living like, and I was just doing the thing. I went to all the restaurants. I bought all the purses and the outfits and, you know, whatever the case was. I was just dating. I was just living. I was just doing my thing. And I had fun. I had a lot of fun. And I think I learned a lot just about like men in general, because I encountered so many different men. So it did serve a purpose. Everything happens for a reason. But at this point in my life, I've matured a lot. My priorities are different. And I just will not be partaking in online dating. It's a hard pass for me. I don't want anything to do with that. Like, I just don't want my love story to be that my man was sitting on his couch in his boxers and that's how he found me. Blech. Disgusting. It needs to be something grand. Like, he needs to hunt me down. I remember I met this one guy who I had dated for a little while before at a concert. And this was a young relationship. I was probably like 19. No, I think I was 20, because we had celebrated my 21st birthday together. So I was 20 and I had gone home to my hometown for a concert. And I went by myself. It was all weekend. And my girlfriends, they didn't want to go until like the late afternoon, because we had been out all night the night before. Oh, and they had gone to an after party and I didn't go to an after party. I'm not really a night owl like that anymore. I haven't been since probably high school. I don't like to be up too late. So they went to the after party and I didn't. So they were going to sleep in and everything. But I woke up early and I got to the concert at like 11 a.m. because I was like, I wanted to enjoy the day. So I went and it was just me vibing. I'm a free spirit. I'm very independent, no issue. I'm dancing, I'm jamming. Like, I found this one, because there's like mini stages. I went to this one stage and it was such a vibe. It wasn't too crowded. I had room to dance. It was a older black female DJ and she was such a vibe. They called her like the queen of techno. And she was jamming and she had a live drummer on the stage, like those African drums. I don't know what they're called. Like those African hand drums, like, I don't know. It's a West African drum. And it was a man on there and he was doing the drum and it was like connected to the amp and it was like so lit and I was jamming. I was shaking my little booty and I was having a jam. And then I saw him seeing me and he saw me seeing him. So I smiled and I kept dancing and like he could not take his eyes off of me. And I was like, I was a little nervous, obviously, because like when a man is looking at you like that, you were like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it was kind of silly. So I was like, okay, whatever, cool. She ended her set, and then, you know, I disappeared into the crowd to go do my thing. And then maybe an hour later, 30 minutes later or something, this man ran up on me. He didn't technically run up on me, but I'm kind of jumpy anyway. So he came up on me. He was like, oh, you're the girl. You're the girl. And I was like, hey, because I recognized him too, but I was trying to play silly. That's how I do. And I was like, hey. And he was like, you were so beautiful. I love your vibe. You were like all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward, we spent like the whole week together. It was so romantic. He took me to all the places. He made my trip home just like a masterpiece. He was my chauffeur for the week. Like, it was just like a love story. It was so romantic and fun, and just like, it was so fun. And like, it felt like a fairy tale. It felt like a love story. Like, he came to find me in the crowd. Like, it was so cute. And that's how I need my love story to be. That's how I need it to be with my husband. Like, he cannot be sitting in the house in his boxers, swiping on every girl, and I just happen to be the girl who responded. It's corny and it's whack. Like, for a man, because a man knows it's a numbers game. And like, I want a man to have to work for it. And of course, like, approaching you is only like the very beginning. And then there's so much more working for it he has to do. But you don't want the man who just like likes to run game. Like, he'll just go up to anybody. You don't want that man, but you do want a man who's willing to cross the room for you. And then on the app, in order for a man to get one date, he's going to have to swipe on probably 100 girls. So he swipes on 100 girls. 20 to 25 actually respond. The other 75 don't even answer the message, or they don't match back. And then of the 25, he tries to start conversations. Conversation doesn't really go anywhere. He has to get them on the phone. Like, it's like a whole thing. And then finally he gets one of them to meet up to go on a date. And I just don't want it. I just don't want that. I'm probably over explaining at this point, so I'm going to cut this video off. But online dating is not for me. I prefer to have a love story, and I'm willing to wait for it to happen organically. I'm a woman of God, a child of God, and I trust that when it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen, and it literally gets to be easy and fun. Like, I don't have to work for it. And if I have to work for it, then it's just not even worth it to me. It's just not. And that's the whole message. I love you guys. Stay blessed. Peace.